see all of you. Sorry for the slight delay in starting the program, but I'm sure we will make up for it in the course of the event. I think as Anurag mentioned, why are we doing this? We want you to think of IIT Delhi whenever you have an issue or whenever you want to carry some research. And more importantly, not just to collaborate, but we want you to be part of IIT Delhi. I think that is what we would like eventually to accomplish through these events. And we're all one part. I think IIT Delhi and various industries can work together on a variety of things. So my talk, I will give you the big picture. What exactly are we trying to accomplish at IIT Delhi? And so we launched this campaign, Unlimited IIT Delhi, and which is now beginning to yield results. So we have a very broad vision, and then we are taking steps to fulfill whatever we wish to accomplish through that vision. And then we are monitoring the growth through the numbers and whatever in all different directions. So that's what we are doing. So I will tell you a little bit more about what exactly is happening. So I think if you look at the industry and academia, the industry was primarily, the role was to develop products, put out these products into the market and then revenues. And academia, education and research, were the main kind of focus areas. And so everybody was happy and we were all doing what we were supposed to do. But now the expectations have become very, very different. And now industries, everybody expects you to do cutting edge research. In fact, the research that is happening in some of the high-end, top-end industries is very difficult for even academia to catch up now. And so that's one change that has taken place. And whereas academia, people are also asking every time we have a visitor, they are asking what products have you put out and in what way have you helped society to develop and what are the technologies that you have developed that the society is using. I think this innovation has got added to our mandate, and no one is just happy if we show some list of papers and the number of students graduating. Everybody is asking the impact of what we have done as part of our research. So therefore, I think these are very different times for all of us. And so one of the ways for all of us to fulfill our roles effectively is probably to have more and more collaborations. The academia and industry collaborate on research and innovation to develop futuristic technologies and products. And that is what at IIT Delhi we strongly believe in. And we thought we will accomplish this through these industry days. This is the third industry day in the series. And another thing that is also happening is there is a lot of good research happening in academia, but we need to strengthen the relevance and delivery aspect. The R&D is quite good. The research and development, if you count numbers, we are in the world's top 50 in terms of research impact and all that. Depends on which ranking agency you look at. If you look at US, we are definitely in the top 50 when it comes to the research impact and all of that. But and academia is good at research, but bad at development, but poor at delivery. A lot of research gets done here. We do file patents. The process for filing patents is also very well established now in our institution. 5 years ago, we were filing 10, 15 patents. Today, this year, we will file 150 patents. Now the question is, what will happen to these patents? What next? So we were all happy publishing papers. Now people said you have to file patents. We are filing patents. Now people are saying, no, but what is happening to these patents? So now we are trying to take these patents to society and to startups, to technology transfers. So these processes we are now beginning to strengthen in our academic institutions. For us, the institutions are like idea factories now. I think that is what is now beginning to happen at IIT Delhi. And for ideas to get generated, you need to create the right atmosphere. And more importantly, you need to bring the unlike minds together, which we believe is very, very important for us to become that idea factory. And otherwise, one of the challenges in our institutions is we are very homogeneous in our nature. The students go through the same coaching institutes, faculty comes from similar kind of institutes, and when they all interact with each other, the same ideas keep cropping up, but not much new actually happens. And this is where at IIT Delhi, I can assure you, in the last almost like 5 years now, lots of things are changing. So we are trying to bring people with different cultural backgrounds. If you have noticed, we have launched 2 PhD programs the joint PhD programs with two leading universities in the world, one with Australia, Queensland University, other with NCTU in Taiwan. And we have now many requests from top universities from all over the world wanting to offer these joint PhD programs, and we hope to see at least 20% of our students to be part of these joint PhD programs. And as we scale up our PhD program, we want that scale up to happen through these joint PhD programs, and that will ensure a good kind of a international exposure for these students and sharing of each other's resources, and all of these things will happen naturally. The second way we want to bring the unlike minds is different disciplinary training. People who have gone through completely different training sort of thing as part of their education. And for example, we started last year the School of Interdisciplinary Research. We call it SIRE, SIRE, which is now very popular, and we have quite a few students now joining SIRE for a PhD. We also started a School of Public Policy. We realized that just with technology alone, we cannot impact the society. So we need to work with all different stakeholders and also develop the right policies for the country. And the School of Public Policy now has been formed last year, and we got a 50 crore grant from Tata Trust for developing this school into a full-fledged kind of an entity of international repute. And now we have this School of Public Policy coming up very well, and with a lot of faculty joining there. We also started Department of Material Science and Engineering. The material science programs in IIT were in different departments, so we consolidated all our activities and launched this Department of Material Science and Engineering. That's already doing great and recruiting a lot of top-class faculty, because materials are the backbone for every sector now. I think without new materials, electronics, many of these sectors will come to a standstill. So we realized the importance of that. We also started a Department of Design. We realized that the product is not just about what goes inside, but it's also about designing these products. So we have now a full-fledged Department of Design at IIT Delhi. Next year, we will be offering, from 2020, we will be offering a Bachelor's in Design program. We already have a Master's in Design and PhD program, but we will also have a Bachelor's in Design program. We also launched a Faculty Interdisciplinary Research program. So we are trying to remove these boundaries that we have across departments and centers, and we are trying to make it easy for faculty to, or even incentivize faculty to collaborate with each other. We launched this Faculty Interdisciplinary Research program. We have now very close interactions with AIIMS. IIT Delhi always enjoyed very close interactions with AIIMS, but there was no structured kind of collaboration. So we signed an MOU with All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Now we have a scheme that if any faculty member in AIIMS wants to collaborate with IIT Delhi faculty, IIT Delhi funds its faculty, AIIMS funds their faculty. So there is an incentive for medical doctors to work with engineers. Now we are almost, we would have at least 50 new collaborative projects between IIT Delhi and AIIMS, as part of that collaboration. So that's again, I see a lot of potential there. We signed a similar kind of an initiative with All India Institute of Ayurveda, between IIT Delhi and All India Institute of Ayurveda, IIT Delhi and National Institute of Immunology, IIT Delhi and Indian Council for Agricultural Research. So we have these agreements with them where if the faculty collaborate, their institutions fund their faculty, we fund our faculty. After 2 years, they can go ahead and get external kind of a support. So these are very popular now on our campus. And the third way to bring unlike minds is people with different attitudes. That is where the industry professionals will come in. Because when industries look at a problem, you ask very different questions compared to what we do in academia. Therefore, academia working with industry, is very important for us to take any of these initiatives forward. And so the industry day is as part of strengthening the collaboration between academia and industry. And the industry day, as Anurag mentioned, we are trying to enhance industry visibility for the research at IIT Delhi, and IIT Delhi visibility to industrial problems. While you are here on the campus, I think you should start discussing your problems. I mean, what sort of things that you are facing in your sectors, and what IIT can do, and we will try to put teams together and collaborate with you. After this event, in fact, starting from next month, we will have these industry days for specific industries. If an industry says that a large industry, I want to know, you organize an industry day for my industry with my name associated with that, and we will, organize a one-day event for you where we can put you in touch with faculty, you can go to departments, interact with people. So more intense interactions can take place through those the specific industry kind of days, and we are very hoping to do that. And you just need to contact the corporate relations office for making any of those things happen. Generate new industry IITD collaborations, showcase existing IITD industry relationships, to boost the CSR funding. In fact, I am very happy to see that yesterday the finance minister has made a change in the CSR policy. Now, as part of your CSR, you can fund research directly in IITs. That will be counted as part of CSR now. So therefore, I think that's one big change that has happened in CSR. Hopefully, that will also take place now. The improved industrial job prospects for MTechs and PhD. We are producing very high quality PhD students. The MTech jobs are decent, but for PhDs now, we will be touching 500 PhD mark per year in terms of our graduation. Now 500 PhDs coming out of our institutions, where are the jobs? How many industries are able to recruit these PhDs? Because in a place like US, only 10% go to academia. Only 10% of PhDs go to academia. The 90% of these PhDs get absorbed in the industries. In India, that ecosystem hasn't developed in the industries. While we are churning out more and more high quality PhDs, I think the jobs for them is going to be an issue. So we have realized that need. As part of Industry Day, we have also brought our PhD students in touch with you. So you should discuss with them and see where they can fit in into your sectors and what we can all do together to these PhD students. And involve industries in startups. I think the traditional way for all of us to collaborate so far is industry and academia works together. I think that is okay, but the other way we can collaborate is through our startups. On this campus, you will find at least 100 startups now. And if you take interest in some of these startups, you can also directly fund them because they are already part of the IIT system. They already have the mentorship and access to facilities in IIT. You can even fund these startups, and if they become big, you can acquire them. I think that's what all big industries are doing anyway. And I think that can also be one way we can all collaborate. The startups can act as bridges between academia and industry. I think we're also very keen to look at it and take it forward. Like I mentioned, we always start in IIT's education and R&D. The research were the two main pillars. Now this innovation got added to our mandate, and that is where we are now trying to do things differently. So on these three, in another 5-10 minutes, I will tell you what is happening when it comes to education. IIT Delhi today, this year we have crossed the 10,000 mark. We have more than 10,000 students on our campus today. But what you will be surprised to know is, if you look at the number of PhD students, we have more than 3,000 PhD students on this campus. So this is the exact number as on August 2019, just last month. So we have more than 3,000 PhD students, and these are the master students. As you can see, 60% of our students are now the postgraduate students. So IITs are no longer the undergraduate institutions that they are known for. Now we have more postgraduate students than the undergrads on our program, and so we offer all programs like any institution of repute, and we have a faculty strength which has crossed 600 now, and we have fellows of national academies and lots of many Padma Shris and all that, and we write about 2,600 papers per year, and we awarded more than 50,000 degrees. Many of them now are there all over the world and in many industries. And we also have this exchange plus international students. So we still don't have enough foreign students. That is one thing which is affecting our rankings directly. Otherwise, if only I was recently talking to in a government event, I said that at IIT Delhi, if we had 20% foreign students and 20% foreign faculty, we would have been in the top 100 without doing anything. It's as simple as that. So that if our faculty consisted of 20% foreigners and if our students' population consisted 20% foreigners, we would have been in the top 100. That is basically what is affecting these institutions when you look at those rankings. And of course, once foreigners come, the perceptions also will change and a lot of things will change as a result of it. I think that is the direction that we all need to move if we want to get into those kind of rankings. The departments, we have about we have total 10 departments right now where a lot of research gets done, and then we have 3 basic sciences: the physics, chemistry, and maths. Humanities, management, sciences in the humanities and management streams. So these are the 2 new departments we started: Department of Design, Department of Material Science and Engineering, and these are the centers and schools The only difference between centers and schools in IIT versus the departments is the centers and schools don't offer the BTech program. So an entity which doesn't offer the BTech program, usually where the research is more intense, they they are called the centers and schools. So they are all formed in thematic kind of area. These are the centers and schools currently at IIT Delhi. Again, we started 2 new centers, Center for Automotive Research and Tribology, CART, and CART is going to be mainly focusing on electric vehicles in the country. Our goal is to recruit at least 20 faculty members who will work on electric vehicle technology in CART. So this is a brand new center which is recruiting faculty right now. We started another center for cyber physical systems. It is known as SENSE, S-E-N-S-E. In SENSE again, we are focusing on sensors technologies. It's a very highly interdisciplinary kind of a center focusing on sensors aspects. And in the schools, we started School of Interdisciplinary Research for PhD programs. We also started the School of Public Policy. This is again a new kind of a school. So there are about 30 academic entities now at IIT Delhi where all the research, teaching and all of these activities take place. Then if you look at the education, what is the direction for education in our institutions? We are increasing the number of minor degree programs. Now, any student at IIT Delhi can take a minor degree from any other department or school. For example, if a student in mechanical engineering wants to do a minor degree in computer science, it's possible now. So all departments offer the minor degree programs. As a result, now we are allowing students to go in a direction where they want to, where their heart lies, and that's one thing which we have done. We are also increasing the number of PhD students. Our PhD intake is growing at almost like 20%. If you look at our data in the last 3 years, we are growing at 20% per year as output also. So we will be about 5,000 students pretty soon. In another 5 years, we will have about 5,000 students, and that is where the joint PhD programs become important for us. We want at least 20% of our students to be part of these joint PhD programs with the leading universities in the world. And we have very flexible branch change options. We are trying to make our class sizes smaller and have more tutorials and more flexible academic curriculum. And we are also looking at increasing the number of diploma programs we offer, the continuing education programs, and also these executive programs. And all departments are now looking at offering these short-term kind of programs. Very soon you will hear some big announcements from IIT Delhi in terms of diploma programs for industries and certificate programs for industries, which you should be able to take online without having to leave your offices. You should be able to get a certificate from IIT Delhi. That we are planning to launch now, and there are a lot of discussions taking place in our Senate, and IIT Delhi Senate has already approved the diploma programs, and there will be some big announcements on that. And we are also now looking at tying up with these private companies. In the education space, there are many startups now which are doing very well. I think this is also one thing IIT Delhi is trying to get into collaboration, so that we can scale up our outreach sort of activities. In the second category of research and development, these are the 4 things that we are primarily doing: broadening and deepening our academic scope, develop thematic initiatives, strengthen the capabilities to translate our knowledge into societal impact, and establish cross-cutting initiatives to strengthen broadly the foundations of our research and teaching experiences. We are basically focusing on the 3 I's: the interdisciplinary research, the industry connect, and the internationalization. So these are the 3 pillars on which our growth is going to rest now. And so a lot of these activities are being driven through a variety of initiatives, and which are all already paying off rich dividends now. For example, we started multiple centers of excellence in the last few years. These are some of the centers of excellence which are funded by various government agencies in IIT Delhi, and many of them are successful COEs. And with the industries we funded, we started some of these centers of excellence. These industries started centers of excellence have happened in the recent past. And here, if an industry says that my area of research, my area of expertise is energy, and I want a group of faculty and a team of students to work on energy-related areas where I can directly benefit, they can support a center of excellence, and this center of excellence will work very closely with that industry and then deliver the results. And this is one model where many industries are now coming forward and getting in touch with us. If you look at our research funding, we are doing pretty well. As Anurag pointed out, now we have seen a 300% increase in the last few years in terms of our research funding. So this is only going to grow further. And we are also looking at the industry projects, industry and consultancy projects at IIT Delhi. Last year, for example, we did close to 70 crore worth industry and consultancy projects in that 1 year from industries and as consultancy and sponsored projects. So this is again growing, as you can see, thanks to the industry day, thanks to the awareness that we are generating. So more and more industries are approaching us, and this is a good sign. And if you look at the industry interactions at IIT Delhi, almost every second or third faculty member has an industry project or has done an industry project in the last few years. I think that is a tradition, culture that we want to enhance further. And but this third part is the innovation, which is somewhat of a new thing for all of us. And that is where I said the unlike minds coming together is of great use. So international linkages, we started major initiatives to have these international linkages. The interdisciplinary research, we again have major initiatives. One of the interesting things we are doing is the immersion programs, and as part of these immersion programs, we are sending our students to various places. We want our students to go to villages, live with farmers, understand what are the problems that the farmers are facing, so that they can come back and develop solutions to the agricultural sector. They can go to AIMS and work with medical doctors and find out problems which they are facing and come back and develop solutions. They can go to industries, do internship and find out problems and develop solutions. So these immersion programs are becoming very important. Unless they know where the problems are, I think they will not really be able to channelize their efforts in any direction to become valuable to any one sector. So these programs we are driving in an aggressive kind of a way. We are also encouraging our faculty to become entrepreneurs. We just announced this program called FIRE, where we fund our faculty to start companies. We also give them a complete 3-year leave if they want to develop work for a company. And so on this 3-year leave, the first year is a fully paid leave. And that's what sabbatical is. And then, so faculty members, if they say, I want to build a startup or do something in that direction, they can take 1 year's salary.